Testing. Okay. You ready? We'll call to order. If you could join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do roll call.
Councilmember Kay? Here. Councilmember Stroman?
Here.
Councilmember Engel?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Walker? Here. Mayor Hagan?
Here. Just wanted to do just a short moment of silence for Al Bellinger, who was a big part of our community that just recently passed away. He was big into some of the nonprofit work around here, so he will be missed. So if you wouldn't mind joining me with a little bit of silence. Mind joining me with... All right. So tonight we have a couple presentations, it looks like. I guess we'll start with recognition of Mr. Anthony Diaz. You want to say something, or do you want me to?
No, we can just read the certificate.
Okay. Well, I've seen his firsthand help in the community around here, and it's well-deserved. You can come on up, yeah. I'm going to read this to you, but this certificate is presented to Anthony Diaz in recognition of his 8 years of dedicated service to the Escalon Chamber of Commerce. His consistent support, problem-solving abilities, and cheerful participation in community events have greatly contributed to the Chamber's success. In addition, his commitment to his clients as a farmer's insurance agent, providing attentive service and helping them secure the best possible outcomes, reflects his integrity and professionalism. His leadership and community-focused spirit are deeply appreciated and valuable to the community members of the city of Escalon. And I couldn't say that there's a more true statement than this. So we do appreciate what you've done for our community and continue to do. So I'll come give it to you. Thank you. And our Oak Valley Community Bank presentation on the city's investment performance.
Good evening. For those I haven't met, my name is Greg Hookman. I work for Oak Valley Community Bank in their investment side. Here with me is Kim Karp, the branch manager here at our Escalon branch. I wanted to just take a little bit of time to kind of review what we've done over the past year. I'll open it up to questions afterwards, if that's all right. So back in August of 2024, we transferred in the investment account of about 11.4 million came transferred in. The immediate goal was to stop the negative returns that we were having, start building some recurring revenue, maintain liquidity, and achieve safety of principal. And we did that pretty much immediately. Purchased a lot of T-bills, a lot of different CDs, different maturities, different principal protected products for you. We'll quick jump to right now. You can see the returns. Current value is about $12.047 million. That's a $647,000 gain of about 5.68%. And all of that was with principal protected products that we can also liquidate pretty quickly, pretty easily. Going forward, the interest rate environment has changed a little bit. So going forward, we're looking at about 4% forward-looking But this is something that we anticipated, and so in April of 2025, just about 6 months ago, I met with Celinda and Jalen. We reevaluated the portfolio holdings. There had been a pretty healthy stock market correction at that point, so we repositioned $1 million into some longer-term principal protected products that are still correlated to the stock market and bond market, and I'll go over those really briefly.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yep.
So what we're seeing on the slides are time-weighted and benchmark for performance periods.
Yeah.
Can you explain
I sure
exactly
can.
what we're looking at?
Yeah, you bet. So the benchmark is actually, it's a benchmark is 80% weighted with U.S. Treasuries, 6%, you know what, it goes into it, 6% international bonds and 14% corporate bonds. Those, and so it tries to encompass kind of the worldwide bond market, safe bond market. That's not what we're investing in. We're investing in just T-bills, Treasury bills that are short-term, liquid, and guaranteed by the United States. So it's not a direct correlation to that benchmark. But yeah, you can see the trailing one-year return of 5.4. That is looking back from a year ago till now, just the overall performance. That overall performance is mostly from these T-bills and CDs that we locked in at higher interest rates. As they come due, we are reinvesting, and that's why I say look forward. We're looking at about a 4%, except for these other products that we looked at in April. And these ones are pretty complicated, so I just wanted to take just a little bit of time to explain them and explain how actually the portfolio is in even better shape than what we're looking at right here. If we look at, you know what, I apologize, I don't think I sent this, but your last monthly statement for October, we have 4 different what we call structured products or market-linked products. These are principal protected products. Each of them are $250,000 to make sure we're FDIC insured on them. Principal protected, yet they are linked to an index of some sort for their gains. And on the statement, they give an approximate value. The reason we only did $1 million is because they're very illiquid. These we can't just turn into cash tomorrow like the rest of the portfolio. So we did want to take advantage of the market conditions and look a little bit forward so that we can get improved returns, but we want to do it smartly in tranches so that we're not giving up all liquidity. But if we, the statement will give an estimated value of them. But if we look at actually how the indexes are doing, and we can look first, yeah, that one is the CL62. The CL62, so we look at this is a $250,000 investment. We look at on the statement, it says it's up about 11.75% since April. We look at the actual index that it's tracking. This one is tracking the S&P futures. It's actually up 28%. But the reason that they say, oh, it's only up 11% is because, again, there's an illiquid factor to it. So if we were going to try to liquidate it, we wouldn't get that full return. But all 4 of those investments are well above what the market value on your statement shows. So CL62 says it's 11.75%. In actuality, it's up 28%. HFZ7 says it's up 15.89. It's actually up 29. C52T says it's up 1.53. It's actually up 10.5. And then the HX one is really the killer. That one's up 53%. since April. And so the thought is, as interest rates are going down, we want to eventually get more of these products in the mix too, because they are they have potential for much larger gains, still safe principal, but it's such a long term that we just kind of want to kind of tiptoe into them on a yearly basis, if that makes sense. Yeah. More questions on that portfolio and the performance?
So just so I'm on the same page, these are zero risk pretty much. You're saying there's zero risk on the
Correct.
principal
Yeah, they're all going to be either guaranteed.
guaranteed?
Gosh, sorry, it's getting hot up here.
No, you're good. We won't put you under the fire. Don't. Lights are bright.
Does
Yeah.
warm in here, yeah.
Yes, they're going to be principal guaranteed, and that's what we were looking at right from the beginning with city money. We're looking at the guarantee, make sure that it's going to be there, but we still want to gain what we can while we can.
One thing's for sure, since Celinda, you've been working with them, it's night and day.
Jalen, too.
And Jalen, sorry. Both of you, sorry, apologize. It's gone from going backwards to going the right direction, so.
Yeah, definitely wanted to stop the going backwards. That's what we did. But again, yeah, and we'll continue to make adjustments going forward as we're seeing some of these safe products that are guaranteed. The attractiveness of them deteriorates when there's less interest rate. Just the market in general, the interest rates are going down. And so we'll want to be continually looking at more uncommon, but still safe investments for you.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
So for simple terms for our general public, this is either for you or for Celinda. What was the initial investment, and what is the current value of that initial estimate total?
Yep. Initial investment in August was 11.4 with us. I'm not sure what the initial investment was prior, but 11.4, we're at 12.04 right now. So a $647,000 gain.
Thank you.
Maybe that can buy a police car. I don't know. I don't know what they cost.
Good job.
Any other questions up here? No? Any questions from the audience at all? No? Online? Well, all I can say is, leveraging what we have and adding a little extra money through passive gains is a big deal for a town like ours. So appreciate the hard work on it.
Well, absolutely, and we appreciate your partnership, and look forward to it in the future.
All righty. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to the consent calendar. There's 3 and 4. Does anyone want to pull 3 or 4?
Mayor, if I can, just on the minutes, we believe the motion for, and we'll verify with you, for item number 8 on page 11 of 238, I think there's a reference to $50, and I think it should read, out of district should pay the full rate, basically, the cost to the city, not a reference to $50. So we will fix that if that was in fact the motion, which I believe it was. We will fix that and you can approve as amended.
Yeah, I believe it was. So anyone up here want to pull?
No, sir.
And anyone in the audience want to pull? No? All righty then, we'll look at them as one unit then.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as amended.
Second?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Okay. We'll move on to staff communications here. Do we have anything the staff would like to
Yeah, Mayor, I will start tonight. You will see a new face at the dais. We are joined today in his first day at the city by Trevin Barber. He is the new Development and Community Services Manager. Again, it's his first day. No, Justin has not been punished or sent to the doghouse.
Been kicked out of his seat.
We now have four people for 3 chairs, so we will figure out what to do long-term on that area. But we're excited to have Trevin start with us. He's worked at a couple of different cities and municipalities with a strong background in economic development, leadership, and so we're looking forward to having him on board and rounding out our management team.
Well, welcome to the team. We appreciate you getting on board with us, and hopefully we can bring some businesses into town. So, anything anyone else would like to say?
Looking forward to working with you.
Welcome to Escalon, Trevin.
Yep, welcome to Escalon. All right, let's go through the communications then.
Okay.
Good evening. We have a finance presentation. Michelle, if you wouldn't mind bringing up our special reports. This is kind of the off time that we have. Normally, we would have an end of month meeting, so that'll be our next meeting when we can provide what happened for our end of October. But we do have some time to show a couple special reports. Maybe, we'll see, here we go. There we are. Don't you just love technology? Okay, so this is the report that we generally see. It's our top level. We can show that right now, this is as of October 28th, right before we had to submit the packet. These are our numbers. We're at about 33% of our expense budget used, which is pretty much right on target. We are always a little light on our revenues, because we've talked about this before. Most of our revenue comes in the last half of the year. So this is to be expected. On our next slide, so we're working on quarter 2. That's kind of the thing. We're our first month of quarter 2. Here's our summary that we're all used to seeing. If you wanted to see just a little bit more data, that'll show you for each business type what we're running at right now. With our first quarter and our pretty much first month of the second quarter, there's not a heck of a lot to see yet, but it's all trending well. Our next slide, this one is new. It shows our special funding sources and includes our budget surplus from last year. This is kind of the product of having that balanced budget. If we receive more revenues than what we expect to have, instead of them falling into fund balance and just becoming money in the bank, which is where it is right now, but we're able to identify these dollars and use them for purchases. Right now, we find ourselves having to replace computers and servers, things that we've put off for a while, and we have these surplus funds from the last budget to pay for them. So this type of report will identify exactly what we've been using those funds for, instead of having to cut into our current budget. So we did purchase some computers, replaced a server. We've got the fire panel upgrade at the PD building and the RIM server. All these things that you can see have got some pretty hefty dollar amounts, and these were paid for by our investment gains that exceeded what we expected in last year's budget. And there's also about $65,000 worth of Measure P money in there that will identify as we use that, but right now we've been able to use that investment money. We've got the pool termination funds are being used about the same. We know that we've got about a $75,000 expected expense with that, so that's going in our encumbered side. Anything that we know of, we can kind of set aside and say, yeah, we're probably going to have to pay for this. We have our library repair funds. We expect those to be completely used for that library repair. And it's just sitting there now because the checks haven't cut or gone out. It's a matter of timing. So this kind of report lets us see these special funds that you're not going to find in the revenue and expense reports that we're used to seeing. It and it shows us that balance sheet report instead of the income report that we commonly show. Number 4, this one is a top-level summary for the LLDs, the lighting and landscape districts. It does show negative dollar amounts, and it is expected at this point in time because we don't receive those property tax dollars until quarter 3. We're going to get those a little bit later. So right now, the city is just paying for all those expenses with the expectation that we will be reimbursed by those property tax funds. So again, not a heck of a lot to show, but if people were interested in that, what exactly has been spent for the yard maintenance or the water, that would be a good place to look. We have our activity tracker for Measure P. Not much going on yet, but it does show us what we've received and what we have expended so far. It's about 52,000, and that's all based in the salary area. We're getting ready to pay down the UAAL. There's some timing on that. That's going to happen at the end of November. We've got our econ development money and other things that we've budgeted, and we just haven't really spent very much of it yet, as anticipated. So, are there any questions?
Questions?
Can you go back like, I don't know, slide 3? Let's try it. One more.
See the first one?
One more. All right, on the bottom, you were good. Next one. There we go. The Reagan Estate donation funds, there's nothing in there. So there's nothing pro and there's nothing to be spent there at the bottom. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm seeing at the top, we have an original balance of 184.
Yeah, we haven't spent anything yet. Those
Okay.
monies are being held for a specific purpose. All of these are
Right.
specific use. So we're identifying them and saying, what are we using these dollars for exactly?
Right.
And so this type of report will show us. The only thing that we've actually spent is the equipment that's been needed.
Sorry, I missed it at the top.
Oh, fine.
I was asking on the bottom, it has no numbers there. Okay, thank you. That was my only question.
Any other questions up here?
Just not related to the report, but I know it's a touchy subject, but do we have an update on the audit?
I have a draft that I'm working on, and I've found a couple things that I've asked them to correct. We are also working on what they call the MDA, or it's the beginning portion that I would add in there. So I'm having to match what we have on our books with what they have provided with us. So we're in that phase right now, which should be the very last phase. I'm hopeful, but I am very hesitant to say it's going to be done anytime soon, because I've been wrong many times now. I do see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just, again, not moving as fast as we would like. Did we have any other slides at the end of this? I think not. 3, 6, 7. There's more of what we've spent, Measure P. Nope, that's it. Okay.
Anyone else like to ask a question before we go to the next step here? Okay, well, we'll go on to Chief then.
So earlier this month, we had a couple events. We did a Coffee with the Cop on Friday, October 21st over at McDonald's. I want to thank McDonald's for inviting us and hosting the event. At the beginning, it wasn't a lot of people. They kind of started showing up towards the end. So next time we do it, we might do it a little bit later because people tend to flow in a little bit later. But it was a good event. Talked with some people. Then we did trunk or treats. We did 3 trunk or treats last week on Tuesday, October 28th. We did one at the youth center. Did the high schools on Wednesday, October 29th, and then Kraft Heinz, October 31st. And Officer Harrison kind of ran all 3 of them, and he had the help of 3 of our explorers, Victor Rodriguez, Peyton Sawyer, and Sophia Lozano. They were out there.
Feel like the interaction went good?
Yeah, oh yeah, went very good. The high school was by far the largest, but we still went through a boatload of candy. And then also on Friday, on Halloween night, there was kind of a incident that happened here in town. It started off as a road rage incident coming into town up Santa Fe. For unknown reasons, a guy tried to cut a lady and her daughter off, tried blocking them in. They went around them. He tried running them off the road. They called 911 and ended up going to the police department. Officer Vieira went outside as they were entering the police station. He ordered the suspect to park the vehicle. He took off into the police department and went left instead of right, and so he kind of went around the back of the RV parking, and then he was exiting, almost ran over Sergeant Vieira. Luckily, he was able to step out of the way in time and didn't get hit and no injuries. The vehicle ended up colliding into a house out on Escalon Avenue in Magnolia. Foot pursuit, or he ended up fleeing on foot. Officers went out there, set up a perimeter. And we had assistance from the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department, Ripon Police Department, CHP, and Modesto Police Department's air unit assisted in the search and ended up apprehending the suspect over on in the area of Campbell and Magnolia. And he was charged with multiple felonies, including attempted murder of a police officer, assault with a deadly weapon, resisting an officer, hit and run, and reckless driving. Sergeant Vieira and Officer Gunter were the officers on duty at the time. Luckily, Harrison was here for the trunk or treat, so he was able to break to assist. And then Officer Maripau started at 7, so he came in shortly after to help. And then Officer Ryman and Officer Kais were called in, and they came in to assist. So good teamwork. Our officer stepped up, came in and helped out, and we apprehended the suspect, and there were no officer injuries.
I'll tell the team good work. I know those kind of things are always scary and adrenaline full,
Oh, yeah.
full of adrenaline, I should say. Any questions for Chief? All right. Trevin, you have something for us?
Just happy to be here, honor and privilege to serve, and I look forward to getting to know the community as I ease into my role.
All right. Thanks for joining the team, and we look forward to working with you as well. And baby's in the corner over there. Nothing that Public Works has?
No, thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Public Works?
You look good sitting in that chair.
Any questions? Actually,
Yeah, just wrap up. First, on the investments, we wanted to see how the actions were going to play out before we really brought Greg, and I appreciate Greg for joining us today to kind of share with the council and the community how our investments are going. It's great to have a local partner to help us with these investments, so thank you to Oak Valley Community Bank as well. It is going well. We want to continue that. As you saw, Greg, Celinda, and I are working on various strategies to maximize the profit. I'm doing the least by far, but to maximize our revenue, our monies that we have available that had been generally sitting idle or not as productive, and now we're getting into full production, and that is good to see. We will continue to do things like this, bring presentations before you and the council. We're really trying to, I don't want to say educate, but inform the council and the community on the things that we are doing. And so you saw it in Celinda's special report. We will bring special reports like that periodically to really dive a little deeper into some of the information. Maybe information overload sometimes, and there's a lot going on, but very important for us to be transparent and share that information with you all so we can make informed decisions. Yeah, it's really about sharing information with you and the community. So we'll continue to have these kind of presentations and special reports.
okay. Thank you. Anyone from the audience would like to ask a question of the staff? No? Online? No? We'll keep up the good work. I think the boat's going in the right direction. So we'll come to the public hearing, or actually matters presented from the audience. The public may address the city council on any item that is on the agenda at the time the item is called. The public may also address the city council on any item not on the agenda that is within the subject matter of the city of Escalon. Each speaker is limited to a maximum of 5 minutes. Unused time may not be yielded to another speaker. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Due to state law, action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda, and except for brief responses, the council is prohibited from discussing any item not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and/or placed on a future agenda. The determination of whether an item is within the subject matter of the city is a discretionary decision made by the mayor. So at this time, any issues from the audience that we need to address or hear? No? Online? Okay, then we'll bring it back to public hearings.
Mr. Mayor, I missed the first reading of the public hearing for the building codes. It's not really a conflict of interest, but just for the sake of transparency, I would like to publicly disclose that I have a previous working relationship with our building official, Mr. Brian Bell, in my professional career. And I think we got one of the best. So just leave it at that.
Okay. Appreciate the transparency on it. I don't see any matter that would make you have a problem with voting on this, right?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It's the building code. Don't really have much choice.
Just confirming.
Okay.
Okay. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. As was indicated, this is the second reading and public hearing, so we will open the public hearing for this item to collect any input that there may be on the building code changes. Every 3 years, the state goes through a process to update, renew, refresh the building code to ensure safety, best practices, and other statewide goals. And so we did discuss this at the October 6th council meeting. And so this is the second reading and the public hearing. There is a lengthy packet in the staff report, attachment 2. It is the summary of California code changes in the 2025 edition, specifically of Title 24. We have in the staff report outlined the ones that we thought were most noteworthy. We do not believe there are any really substantial kind of community-worthy, noteworthy items outside of the 4 listed, and they are relatively minor as well. Again, this is a triannual, every 3-year process to refresh and update the code. So with that, I or Brian, who was referenced prior, is here to answer any questions that you or the community may have.
And I'll just add that the triennial uniform codes, this is the same ordinance that came before the council the last meeting, so there's been no changes. And the local agency has to adopt the uniform codes unless they want to make changes that are more restrictive. And if it wants to make changes that are more restrictive, it has to make certain findings to do so. So this is kind of from that perspective, a pretty routine item.
Yeah, it just seems like it makes building more expensive in a time when they're asking for more homes. So wonder about that one, huh?
Mr. Mayor, we don't have time to
So
get into
anyway,
those specifics.
okay, anything up here?
May I ask a question?
Yeah. You want him to come up?
So, well, I mean, it's a question for, I'm not sure who, in response to the statement that it must be adopted by all, local agencies must adopt the codes. And so all cities go through this process every 3 years, including general law and charter cities must adopt these codes. Is that correct?
Correct. And actually, even if you don't adopt the codes, if you want to make some customizations, this is your opportunity to do so. But again, they're either administrative or they have to be more restrictive. If you don't adopt them, they're going to operate by force of law, whether you adopt them or not anyways. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So if we don't adopt, we're not getting like a letter or a,
No,
we
it's
just have to enforce them
You have to-
regardless of
yes.
whether we adopt them or not?
Correct.
Is that,
the only thing the only reason why you would want to adopt them is you want to have something codified in your own municipal code, so it's easier for the development community to actually read and find out. So I think it is helpful for that purpose. Plus, there could be some administrative things that gel with your code better that aren't substantive changes. They're just administrative things. And this community, this council is probably not apt to make changes that are more restrictive, so that's probably not an option. But in other cities or counties, they may want to do that.
understood, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Those are.
Okay, any questions out in the audience? No? Anyone online? No? All right, we'll bring it back. So you need a direction here?
Motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll motion to waive the second
Yes, good point. The city manager just reminded me that technically you need to open the public hearing and then close it, because this is a public
I
hearing.
thought I did, public,
I think you opened public comment,
public hearing? It's not the same?
didn't change the result,
No.
and then close the public hearing.
All right, public hearing is closed.
Thank you.
Okay, I will bring it back to motion.
Yep, I'll motion to waive the second reading and adopt ordinance number XXX, amending Escalon Municipal Code, Chapter 15, Buildings and Construction by adopting by reference to California Building Standards, 2025 edition, Title 24, the California Code of Regulations, with amendments and other uniform codes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay. All right, we'll go on to administrative matters. Number 6.
That's me. Wanted to make sure. So we have our fees that we spoke about last meeting for rec, and then we have the full package of fees. There is a red line version in here so we can see what the changes were. Most of these are fairly bland. It's the CPI adjustment. We did have some other, I think with the rec, a little bit more changes than that, but if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions up here?
And just to add to that, as Celinda mentioned, looking at a couple of different fees. One, an annual CPI inflator that has been approved in the past. So the bulk of the kind of user fees have increased 2.02%, which is the CPI. We do have a Jilton rate increase in there as well, so that is specified. And then the rec fees, which were discussed at the last meeting per council direction.
That was the Jilton where they had to basically build a bigger facility that we had a couple years ago or whatever. Or a year ago.
I don't know if it's specifically as it pertains to the bigger facility, but each year they will look at their cost for gas, employment,
Sure.
all of that, and they will adjust their costs and pass it on to the local jurisdictions. I will just mention a couple of fees in particular. One, we did look at adult softball registration, and we proposing to increase it at about $5 per player, consistent with the youth. So that's a $75 increase, figuring about 15 players per team. So again, just call that one out specifically, not discussed at a prior meeting, but one that we proposed in here for council's consideration. We did make some, recommendations, I guess, on electronic sign advertisement. We increased the fees a little bit and even put in some unique reductions for people who may have birthdays at 95 or higher, and then anniversaries, I believe.
Anniversary 75 years plus, and birthdays 95 plus. It's just a one-day free.
So like more community-based things. And then we looked at water disconnect fees and increased some of those rates per a study that we had adopted, I think, a couple years prior. So just wanted to call those out. Again, the 3 rec fees, Jilton, the waste, and then the CPI increase, and the 4 that I just mentioned, adult, softball, electronic sign advertisement, water disconnect, and we did look at increasing development impact fees as well.
Any questions up here?
I did have one clarifying question, just because this will affect every garbage ratepayer in the city. That is Jilton's direct cost increase only. It has nothing to do with the CPI inflator, right?
Correct. We are told by Jilton what they are charging, and we therefore
Perfect.
have to comply with that.
Yeah, just wanted to be sure that that was the case.
Yeah, dollar for dollar, we didn't inflate it, administrative, anything like that.
Perfect. Just wanted that on the record. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll go out to the audience. Any questions at all? Okay, we'll go to online. Nothing? All right, I'll bring it back. Any other thoughts before a motion? All right,
Sorry,
go for it.
thank you. So does this come back to us yearly? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Yearly, every October we've been doing this, correct? Does it need to come back every year, or is it just for the CPI inflation?
It does need to come back every year because of the CPI adjustments. I would imagine if we would have to, even if they stayed the same, we would have to still ratify that every year.
Okay, so this is for this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Typically, they come with a budget every year, right, Celinda?
Typically, we were a little late this year with that.
Right.
I've seen it kind of go different timeframes, but we attempt to get them, some of the fees change in January, some of them change in July. So, yeah, we should have this by,
So that being said, when did the new Jilton rates go into effect?
I believe those were a January memo from Jilton telling us what their rate increases were. And so
So
that was all handled through billing.
Has the increase already hit the bills?
That is my
And this is
understanding.
just a formal action to memorialize it?
Right.
All right, any other thoughts or humor or motion?
I just wanted to say that, thank you for keeping them all pretty much to the CPI. I mean, doing what we can to keep rates low for as low as we can, reasonably for our citizens. Because I voted in the way that I did on the increase on the recreation fees, that's the reason why I just want to remain consistent on my voting history, and because I didn't vote to increase the recreation fees. That's the purpose of my vote tonight. Everything else, fantastic. You did what you're supposed to do, and according to the voting of the council. So, that's it.
All righty. Any takers on the motion?
Sure. Yep. Motion to approve resolution XX25 adopting updated user and regulatory fees for various city services based on the Consumer Price Index annual rate increases as of August 31st, 2025. The increased Jilton contracted services rates for various garbage-related services as of January 1st, 2025, and council direction on recreation program fees.
Second that.
Okay.
May I make a small, I was conferring with the city manager. I think I understand there's a development impact fee increase component to this. I would ask that the council adopt the fee schedule as prepared, but for now, holding the development impact fees, I'd like to take a look at that, and then that can come back with an increase later, but I would like to take a look at that. So you can adopt it as presented minus the increase on the impact fees.
Sounds fair enough.
I'll amend my motion to what Frank said.
Thank you.
And my second will sustain.
Okay. All righty, then, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Okay. And then on to number 7. Mr. City Manager.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Yes, this item is a continuation of a conversation I believe we had back in March. And so like during staff communications, it really is one of our pushes to continue to inform, bring awareness and transparency to the community, and I would even say professionalism. And so staff, as part of that effort, is proposing a council handbook, not to hinder, and we'll get into that, not to hinder council deliberations, but to clearly outline what we'll call loosely the rules of engagement for the public, for the council, for staff, just to put on paper, again, some of our rules for decorum and rules of engagement. So by way of background, we did introduce this topic back in March of this year. At that time, council considered it and ultimately, as we state here in the staff report, expressed some reservations that the rules established in the handbook may hinder their ability to effectively discuss and deliberate. and therefore directed staff to come back with some revisions. And so through the city attorney's office, we have revised the document. You will see in the staff report, we have both a red line version, so you see the changes, as well as a clean copy, so you can read it, sort of in one shot. Again, in our mind, we're not trying to hinder deliberation, discussion. We want to provide an outline of council policies and procedures and works and actions. And they are, in some ways, taken from the municipal code, council resolutions, council policies, but they also represent, what some could consider best practices in terms of council actions. And so we believe they advise the general public, and not only this council, but future councils, on again, what we'll call the rules of engagement. So you will see in the red line version, by and large, we removed shalls, so they're not so declarative, right? We moved the shalls. We made some technical corrections. We clarified public speaking timeframes. We softened language on council requests to speak during discussion to make it more conversational, more dialogue. And then we gave the mayor a little bit more discretion from the past version in terms of handling meetings, handling requests from council, handling timeframes for public speaking. We softened language on motion making, and we removed, I would say, some of the parliamentary rules, again, to make it more conversational. So overall, those are the changes that were made. Frank does have something, and I'll just wrap up by saying, again, we believe this is just a guide for the public and the council, so we are all on the same page when we deliberate, when we coordinate in these meetings and outside of meetings.
I was just going to add that, based on the feedback that we received the last time, that the effort was to make this a simpler document and an easier document. And there are some things in there that are pretty technical, but that's just, often some of those things are a reflection of state law. And so we're just putting in the policy what I would be telling you at a meeting you would need to do anyways. So, but in terms of how you run the meetings and how you make decisions, hopefully those are a lot more simplified. And that was the goal, and not have so much mandatory language, have more permissive language, such as may instead of shall. So anyways, just want to add that.
Thank you, Frank. Any thoughts up here at the dais?
I went through all the red line changes, and it seemed to coincide with kind of what we had said in March, that we didn't want all of these things to be mandatory and strict. And the shalls being turned to mays all the way through there, I think definitely achieved that objective.
Anytime we can give guidance to a new council member coming on board, trying to figure out the lay of the land, the better. Also, same with community members, understanding why we can or can't talk about certain things. So I think the more clarity we have, the better.
Will this be posted on the city's website as well? Okay.
No more thoughts up here?
During our last conversation, did we address term limits?
Term limits?
No, outside the scope, I believe, of this type of handbook.
It would be outside the scope?
I think so.
Not to be addressed in that document?
More by state law. I mean, we don't have strict term limits. If a council member wanted to run for multiple terms, as we've seen in the past, they could.
So if that was something that I had interest in including, this is not the document to address that in?
No, you should adopt that in an ordinance. Most municipalities that have term limits codify them.
Would,
Now, just to clarify both our comments, if we did do it by ordinance or some other method, I would say ordinance, we could then put it in the handbook as a reference to an ordinance, but that shouldn't be the deciding document to make a change like that.
Understood. Yep, I'll leave that for council communications. Thank you.
All righty, anything else up here before I take it to the community? Anyone in the audience like to speak on this matter? No? Okay. Anything online? All right, bring it back. Any last thoughts or motions?
Nobody likes rules, apparently.
I'll move to approve the updated City of Escalon handbook under Resolution XX-25.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Okay. All right, we'll go on to number 8.
Thank you, Mayor. We have before you an agenda item request that was brought forward by Councilmember Engel, supported, I believe, by Councilmember Kay, to consider a fee waiver for the use of the Escalon Community Center for the Escalon High School Class of 1971 reunion. This is a process that we do. If there's support at a meeting for an item, we will bring it back at the most appropriate time for council's consideration. So I'll turn it over to Councilmember Engel to provide more detail on it.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of detail, except for one of our residents asked me if I would bring this to council, and I said that I would. And here we are, class of 71, right? So I think it's worthy of at least a discount. The ask was for the fee to be completely waived. I don't have preference either way. I just wanted to make sure that it was presented, brought to council, and then hear what council has to say. I am in favor of doing something for them, but we'll leave that up to the council.
It sounds logical. I mean, it is a community center, so you'd want to use it for the community, right? So I would agree with you. I think if it's a financial constraint, you know, we're not working in the best interest of the community by, charging them.
So that, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, may I, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think on this, on the waiving of the fee, I don't think I'm ready to set the precedent that all reunions at the community center can have the fee waived. However, I do think that they're a community organization, and I would be willing to give them the nonprofit and the community organization fee, the lower fee, and I would like to consider maybe putting them on our, like, Escalon class reunions on that list of the nonprofits to be included.
That sounds fair.
Yeah. There are some other venues in the area that do lower cost if they're looking for absolutely no cost for a venue in the area. There are some restaurants and some venues that do allow that, especially if you purchase their food at the same time. But for ours, I do think that we could, I would consider including them in our Escalon community groups that get that lower rate.
Yeah, that seems like a rational thought to me.
So my thoughts on this were pretty much what Mayor Pro Tem was sharing. However, as far as folks wanting a reunion, I actually had a group of residents approach me over the summer about wanting to do a reunion, and their specific comment to me was, yeah, we would love to have it at the community center, but we can't afford it. So we're looking at having a reunion down on Main Street Park because it's free, and that's all we can afford. And we would rather put that money towards some sort of memory. So I think as a council, we should definitely look at any reunion, high school reunion, elementary school reunion. If you spent some time here at school in Escalon, I think we definitely should look at it. I can appreciate what Mayor Pro Tem mentioned. I would actually look at it as a kind of a fee waiver in its entirety minus the cleaning fee. You know, we got to make sure that the place gets cleaned for the next folks, but I mean, they're coming back home after so many years, and I mean, I think that's the least that the community could do as a way to say thank you.
May I respond? So if we were to go in that direction, I would just want to make sure that we have some sort of limit. I mean, you couldn't have your 17th and your 18th and 19th and 20th reunions and 21st and 22nd and 20, like, we would have to have we would have to have some sort of
Right.
stipulation, like for the 10s or the 5s. But I do want to just throw out there that my 10-year reunion was held at DeBonnie's. And so we bought the food there and they were happy to accommodate us. And there are other restaurants in the area and other venues that will accommodate you if you're there. And actually, I ran into another 10-year reunion the other day of Escalon High School in Oakdale at Dying Breed Brewery. And was happy to see some of those 10-year out of high school kids too. So just putting it out there, it's not that there are 0 venues available in our area. And so, again, I understand what you're saying, but if we do decide to go in that direction, I would want to make sure that we put some sort of limit on what type of reunions that you would want to have for fee waivers at the community center.
May I respond to her response, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
So, I get what you're saying. And this is not the venue because this particular item is regarding one specific use for the community center. But I have had community folks, especially related to our youth programs, whether that's Van Allen PTC, whether that's Dent PTO, the Youth Cougars, what have you, that it is, and we can talk about this later, but just something to put in the back of your head is, it is, especially with our youth programs, using the community center is it's a sense of pride. And then when you look at the fundraising efforts that they're putting forth, I mean, Councilmember Engel could share more with like the St. Patrick's Day dinner for the Lions. If the Lions Club is paying a fee or something, are we taking those dollars directly out of programs that truly benefit our community and especially our kids in the community? And so I think we as a council, outside of this discussion, need to truly look at reunions and youth-based programs because of essentially we're taking away money that really could affect a child's life within the city of Escalon. So,
I mean, I think probably the best starting point, in my opinion, would be to keep it at where the nonprofits are and reevaluate if we were to change it, what does that look like? I think we'd need to do a deep dive on it, see how it affects the city in general if we were to do those things.
I think we have some guardrails already in place, right? We have our list, and anybody who would like to request it can bring it to council, right? So I think we have everything in place that we already need for other organizations wanting to receive a fee waiver or discount. I think we're there.
I would think if we gave them the same fee as our nonprofits, then we're not showing favoritism.
That's fair to me.
Mr. Mayor, if I can get a couple of words in here. I really appreciate the everything that the other council members have brought forth, the nonprofits that rent this out, and yes, that does directly affect, that takes away dollars from, the donations that they are giving into the community. So if we aren't waiving those fees completely for them, I don't think that we should be waiving them in whole for everyone, anyone. There should be something associated there. Also, looking at a 71, class of 1971 reunion, we've got a 55-year reunion, as Mayor Pro Tem, stated, specific years, that kind of thing. We don't want to open up the floodgate for every year, every class that you can come up with, saying, hey, can we get a free waiver on this? Well, you did it for the last guy. You did it for the last class. You did it for their 17th reunion.
That's why I think it would be best to do a,
Move them onto that
see what that
schedule.
looks like
Yeah.
before we ever make a decision on it.
Yeah, I think that gets way too messy and leaves the door, way too open for, unfortunately, for that to be abused over time. So I think putting them on the, nonprofit, fee schedule would be the best move for us to do something for the community without shooting ourselves in the foot, so to speak.
So does that include the cleaning fee and any setup fee as well?
Cleaning fees and setup fees should absolutely be,
In there.
yeah, in there, especially cleaning fees.
Any other thoughts before we take it to the community? All right, anyone in the audience like to speak to this? No? Okay, we'll go to online. Any online? No? All right, bring it back to the dais.
Mr. Mayor? I would like to make a motion to approve the reduction in fees to the standard nonprofit rate, including cleaning fees and setup fees, if applicable, for the use of the Escalon Community Center for the Escalon High School class of 1971 reunion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay. We'll go on to number 9.
Thank you, Mayor. In our continued efforts to look into various issues, adjust, right size, correct, we are bringing this forward. We do have a planner class that has one step or basically one portion of the class. And to be consistent with others, maintenance worker, account technician, police officer, recreation assistant, we are proposing a 2-class category here for planner, both assistant planner and adding a higher level associate planner. You may know we do have an assistant planner now. She has been with the city for a number of years, and she's doing fantastic work and is operating at, in my opinion, an associate level position. This is, I think, brought forward through that direct dynamic right now, but it is something, as we look more broadly, provides the city with greater flexibility in hiring that position. We won't create an additional position, of course. It is just a 2-step class where you have a lower level and a higher level. Should that employee move on ever, hopefully well into the future, we can look at a broader range of skill set based on what we need at the time, based on where our current budget is, based on any number of factors.
Is this fair to say that it allows an individual to essentially have some upward mobility within their own position?
And yes, absolutely, and allows upward mobility. So in the staff report, there's a resolution and then a job description. We did not have a job description as part of this class, of course. That is there for your review. That is based on representative examples from other cities. And then we have a, what do you call this, a salary schedule that would add the associate planner in there for your reference.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
All right, so this is now it's already a 2-step, is that correct? It's assistant planner, and now it'll be associate planner and planner, is that correct?
No, we didn't have
Okay.
a plan, it was just assistant planner, and so now we are proposing a 2-step assistant and associate.
Okay,
Yeah, we don't have one below assistant.
okay, and an associate, and so we do currently have, how many planners do we currently have on board? We just have the one planner, and she would Okay, be reclassified as the associate planner.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask city manager a question?
Yep.
So can you explain the logic of going from assistant to associate versus assistant to planner? Just planner?
Different cities have different naming conventions. You will typically see at this level, assistant and associate. Some cities will have like a city planner, it's called, and that is more like the manager or director level. Again, it's just naming conventions. There's also senior planner, there's principal planner, there's any number of kind of striations and levels that we could think of.
Any other thoughts? We'll take it out to the community. Hi, how's it going?
Good evening. So I just, for clarification, we're not asking for 2 positions. We're just asking for 2 steps, meaning there's 2 possible naming positions. So we're not asking for a new position or to add to the budget. Okay, does this, by doing this then and having a 2-tier system, will it open us up to possibly 2 positions?
Positions would only be funded through the budget or some sort of budget amendment.
Okay.
Yeah, we have many positions that aren't filled at different layers. And until they are funded through the budget, we can't fill those.
Okay, that's all I wanted, just clarification.
Knew
Thanks.
something would get you up here.
I know. It's been a while.
Any other thoughts? Okay, we'll bring it back to online. Okay, we'll bring it back to dais.
I just have a comment, and that is, I appreciate the current assistant planner and all of her hard work and dedication to the city of Escalon throughout the years. And so with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve the attached First Amendment to the employment, whoops, sorry, wrong. I was reading the wrong agenda item. You go back 1 page. There you go. I would like to make a motion to adopt Resolution XX25, approving the associate planner job description, confirming the classification and compensation plan, to add an associate planner and affirming the salary range, and thank the current city assistant planner for all of her hard work for the city of Escalon.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay. Number 10.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is to consider the adopting a First Amendment to the employment agreement with the city manager. After an excellent performance review, there are 4 proposed changes to extend the term. It was a 5-year term originally, to extend the term of the contract 1 more year to November 3rd, 2030, to increase the salary by 5%, which is in line with the increases that were recently done through labor negotiations, to increase the deferred compensation match 2%, and to provide an additional 20 hours of administrative leave. And there's also a updated salary schedule that would go along with this. And that's the long and short of the amendment. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, in regards to our city manager, and this kind of stuff, you get what you pay for, right? So I think he's doing an excellent job. I think this is the kind of person we need being the captain of the ship. So I think my opinion would be I'm behind it. So I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts?
Mr. Mayor, I'd actually like to rebuttal you. I think that we have been getting a lot better than what we have been paying for as a city.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You have done a fantastic job, Mr. French, and I'm more than happy to, I don't think there's much discussing, that any of us need to do. We are already took care of that in closed session. But thank you very much for the job that you've been doing for our city.
Any other thoughts? Yep.
So, I know Mr. French isn't here tonight. Instead, we have Christian Bale sitting in for Mr. French. But I would just like to say Batman. For the record, in all seriousness, Mr. French, you have been an invaluable asset for the city of Escalon and the entire city of Escalon team since you came on board. And I wish you continued success for the entire team. You know, for a while, the city didn't really necessarily have our leader. And when you showed up, we didn't know each other, but the one thing that this council stressed to you, number one priority, was communication and transparency. And I feel like you live that every single day. And so really appreciate everything that you do for the council, for the staff, but more so for the overall community. Keep it up.
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Our city manager is very humble and does not necessarily looking forward to this conversation right now because of how humble he is. He has, this is for the public, he has made this position 100% easier than it was coming in my first year with a different city manager. Though, you know, kudos to her and going out, but it has just been night and day. And leading not only him in his transparency and communication with us and the city and all of our city residents, but led our staff to communicate more clearly with our city, the members of our city. So it's much deserved. He, you know, refused a raise. I guess I can say this. The first time around when we were first in negotiations a year ago, and so he he's taking what we will give him. I guess he won't ask for anything, is what I'm saying. And so I am honored to be able to work with the city manager, and thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Anything else?
Oh, I might as well at least chime in. Good job, sir. There you go.
You're doing a great job. Take it out to the community to make a statement or not?
Of course. Okay, so we've heard from up there, so from the community standpoint, thank you. From the community, the phone calls you made to people in the community that maybe you all don't know about, thank you for your communication. Thank you for holding and bringing the city together. Thank you. And yes, please, 6, how about 16 years? Okay, I'm sorry. So by all means, please approve 6. Take as many as he'll give us. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak to Mr. French here?
What about the guy over there in the corner?
Public Works agrees with every comment in there.
All right. Anyone online? No? All righty. I'll bring it back to the dais and we'll humor a motion if there's one or another comment.
All motion to adopt the First Amendment of the city manager's employment agreement and approve the update to the city salary schedule.
I'll second that.
I'll third that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right. We're on to council communications here. Councilman Kay.
Just like to say, Councilmember Stroman, your wife and your family is in my thoughts and prayers. And I want to wrap this up so you can get to her.
Thank you. Well, my in-laws are coming to save the day, so, but thanks.
We'll go over to Councilman Engel.
Yeah, a couple unpopular items. Let's throw them out there, though. First, I'd like to get some consensus for an ordinance for term limits for city council. And if we can have that discussion?
And that's fine. I just want to, I realize I said it requires an ordinance, but I need to make clear it's an ordinance that has to get approved by the voters.
Oh, gotcha.
So you would draft the ordinance, prepare the ordinance, and submit it to the voters for approval.
Well, we're timely for the next election.
Yeah.
So can I get consensus on starting that process? Because there's another one that I'm assuming we're going to need to vote for as well.
Does he need consensus for that?
To have the agenda item discussion, he needs,
Oh, for discussion.
I
yeah.
think it's worth the
Yeah.
discussion.
I think it's worth the discussion.
Fantastic.
Okay.
And for the next one, consensus. So for next fiscal year, to consider increase for council member compensation. So a raise for council, which hasn't been done in a long time, at $300 per month. For myself, I'd like to see it for next fiscal year for the next incoming council. Anybody in favor of giving the next council a raise?
I will get consensus on that to discuss.
Fantastic.
Just to, without going into the substance, that by law, it couldn't go in effect until after the next election anyway, so those are both timely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's all I have. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
But that one doesn't need to go to the voters, though,
Okay.
the second one.
We can talk about that here.
Yeah, sorry. I'm breaking my own rules, but I just want to make sure you are walking into that conversation with at least a sense of what has to be
Well, I
done.
think in general, the $300 isn't very appealing to maybe a retiree who would want to give some of their extra time. We have an election coming up next year with 3 seats coming up. We should dangle a carrot out there to help some interested individuals come on out and throw their hat in the ring.
I think it would behoove us to know what the neighboring cities around us would have, so if staff could have that information for us.
If I can chime in on this subject, I do want to say this is not something that I have any interest in for myself. But joining council and seeing the amount of work that my fellow council members have been doing for a lot longer than I have, they are poorly compensated for their time and their energies and their efforts. So I think that this is a good thing to at least have a discussion about and move forward that direction some.
Okay. I'll keep my lips tied for now. Okay, so on to the next council communication.
Yeah, I have a couple things, briefly. Just really want to thank Celinda and our partners at Oak Valley Bank. You know, when we're looking at these dollars and they used to go into the abyss known as the state of California. But now, because community is so invaluable to the 5 of us and to everyone here, I mean, I just really want to thank Kim and your entire team for the spirit of community that you bring to the community. And I mean, I felt that even before this relationship was formed. And so now our community can see that this city is actually working with a local investment partner, which is so invaluable, but keep it up. And I really appreciate everything that you and your team do for the city of Escalon. Chief, great work on Halloween. It's kind of scary seeing all the cop cars flying down Campbell, not knowing what was happening, but thank you. Since I made the comment about Christian Bale, I will say publicly that Luigi, before you decide you forgot to shave off his mustache, even though Halloween's over.
Never.
Looks good.
Sorry, still waiting for Mario to show up. And congratulations to Anthony. Appreciate all of his hard work and dedication to the community. And welcome to the team again, sir. It's good to have you, although Justin may wrestle you for his seat back. Okay. Can we put that on the minutes, please? And
Sexual harassment policy has been violated.
There'll be no sitting on laps.
And, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Oh, one thing. So I do have one item for our next council meeting, similar to when last month, we recognized breast cancer awareness. We did it last year. I'm looking forward again this year that we recognize November as Men's Health Month.
No Shave November.
No Shave November. I shaved this morning in preparation for the meeting. Jalen must have shaved right before the meeting because he knew I was going to bring this up, but just looking for council consensus to add that as a proclamation at the next meeting for Men's Health Awareness Month for the month of November.
I don't have an issue with it. All right, Pro Tem, do you like to?
Sure. Just really quickly, welcome to the team. Kind of fill the empty seat that we've been noticing, and we're hoping that the community development, I mean, that's the direction that we're going, and as much as Jalen's been trying to fill all the seats everywhere, I'm glad that you're here to help us out to get our community development and our economic development underway. So welcome. And I'll second Sean on the thank you to Oak Valley Community Bank. You can see that Celinda has made our financial statements and our reports very clear since she's gotten here. So thank you, Celinda. And thank you for your very clear presentation today. And just to let you know, yeah, $600,000 goes a long way with us. So, so thank you so much for making that very clear presentation as well today. Just want to recognize Chief and police as well for being out there in the community for Halloween, for the Halloween week, as well as your coffee with a cop, and I think it's important that we're all out there in the community, and I appreciate the outreach that your team is doing. And I'm glad that everybody is safe for your Halloween incident. That was a trick, huh? Trick or treat. I don't really have any business, though. Great meeting tonight, and thank you very much, everybody.
I don't have much else to add other than appreciate your time coming in. Kim, you've done a great job. I've known you for a long time, and I've known you to give 110% to your community, and this is another example of that. So it's a much appreciated. Other than that, I think you look more like Tom Selleck personally. I think Frank? I think we're good.